So good day everyone, my name is Eliza Misukalep, and for today's video I'm gonna show you my short presentation in my research output or research paper, and it is entitled The Effects of Poverty in the Philippines. So let's discuss now the effects of poverty in the Philippines. So now let's go to the introduction. So, poverty is a state of condition in which a person or community lacks the financial resources and is essential for a minimum standard of living. So, poverty means that level of employment is so low that basic human needs can't be met. So, according to the World Bank, poverty is pronounced deprivation in well-being and comprises in many dimensions. It includes low incomes and inability to acquire the basic goods and services for survival with dignity. Poverty also encompasses low levels of health and education, poor access to clean water and sanitation, inadequate physical security, lack of voice and sufficient capacity and opportunity to better one's life. So around the world, poverty, hunger has always been presented. Poverty is the lack of money to buy enough food to nourish and malnourish. They become weaker and often get sick. This increases them to less work, which makes them poorer and hungrier. So for me, let us prevent poverty that no one can suffer. So, and let's go to the clear description. So the Philippines is located in the Southeast Asia, comprised of more than 7,000 islands. Poverty has proven to be one of the most significant challenges facing this country and its citizens. Filipinos are having a hard time surviving in such difficult conditions, and more are falling in extreme poverty. So according to the Asian Development Bank, the major causes of poverty include low economic growth, weak agricultural sector, increased population rates, a high volume inequality. Because of these factors are a lot of effects of poverty in the Philippines that make it difficult for people live in such circumstances. So there is the let's go about the inability to afford housing. So this with poverty plunging the country, unemployment opportunities being scarce, many peoples are unable to afford housing, which puts them in the danger of turning to the street of accommodations. So malnutrition in the Philippines. Hunger is one of extreme effects of poverty in the Philippines. With little money to buy food, the Filipinos are having to survive in very limited food. Even the food supplies are stable. They are not they are most accessible in other areas which people have enough income to purchase the food. And child labor. Child labor with poverty taking a toll on Filipinos. Parents often can't make enough money to support their families. Children then have to taken out of school to work in harsh conditions just to provide and to help their parents. So crime and thievery. With conditions troublesome, people often resort to crime and thievery to survive. Research found that one of the overwhelming reasons to steal is due to difficulties caused by poverty. Without proper employment, people turn to stealing, especially since family sizes are rather large and there are a lot of people to provide for. There are too many people and not enough resources, in which such conditions people become desperate and practice drastic measures to provide themselves and their families. So that is the clear description: the child labor, crime and thievery, and inability to afford housing and the malnutrition in the Philippines. So let's go to the point of view. So poverty is defined as a situation in which a family's basic needs such as food, shelter, clothing, and education are not met. This can lead to other issues such as poor literacy, unemployment, and malnutrition, and so on. So, due to the lack of funds, a poor individual unable to obtain an education and hence remains unemployed. Unemployed people are unable to provide sufficient and nutritious food for their families, and their health suffers as a result. So, poverty is unjust, unethical, and dangerous because a weak individual lacks the energy essential for the task. The Philippines should remove poverty because citizens are entitled to it. Poverty is one of the major issues that the Philippines government must address. As a young student, I would like to suggest that some factors would which would helpful in our journey to reduce poverty. Basically, we have to take necessary steps to reduce the population in our world. So, as a young student, let's help in our country to prevent these problems, the effects of poverty in the Philippines. And now let's go to the last part, which is the recommendation and the solution. So there are the better solutions to eliminate poverty in the Philippines. So the first one is free quality for all. Free quality education for all. Students from elementary to college, education is the key to success. It can even change the world. And the second one is the employment to all people. If all people are employed, they can buy and eat good food, they can buy their needs, they can have a better life with their family. And the third one is propose standard salary for all. A salary which can elevate the lives of people shall be applied for this because this might be abused by others who are continuously doing vices. And the fourth one is vanish all corruptions. Anomalies is one of the root cause of poverty. Government money is people's money. Therefore, it should be used for people to increase quality of living. And the last one is the monetary support for all farmers. Because if there are more harvests, there are adequate food for all the people. So that's all about my short presentation. And thank you for listening.